Please like, share, and subscribe so your partner will start showing you green flags. r/AskReddit, what are some little known relationship green flags? No matter how angry you are at one another, you will still go out of your way or they go out of their way to help. I'll be wicked pissed, but I'll angrily make my wife her favorite dinner, even though I don't want to eat. No matter how angry we are at one another, usually only last a short period of time, we will never sabotage or try to teach them a lesson. Many times, it ends up being both apologizing to one another. Arguing and getting angry is just part of a relationship and unavoidable. It is how you deal with it that sets it apart from a healthy relationship versus a bad one. Edit. Thanks for the reward fingers. There is never any harm telling someone you love them. I'm chuckling at the mental image of angrily cooking a meal. Use my razor without asking. Harumph. Tell me I'm becoming my dad. I'll show you. Now, where'd I put the frickin' basil? Fricking make you the best goddamn spaghetti you ever had. We'll see who's being unreasonable. Unreasonable. Maybe. Unseasonable. Never. The ability to coexist in very companionable silence. A friend of mine once said when silence is not cringe, the friendship is real. My dad always told me all I needed to do to make friends was to be okay at talking, good at listening, and excellent at shutting the duck up. That's damn good advice. You don't feel like you're competing for their time. You're just loved. Even when they are busy, you don't have to worry. People think you need to spend all your time with someone. You don't. But the feeling of being loved removes any jealousy or insecurities. You just know it's good. If it's a chore you both hate, you do it together. My late husband and I both hated folding laundry, but it had to be done. So we always did it together. Made the chore less of a pain. My dad did that with us growing up. Anytime he needed to run errands or do housework he would ask me or my brother to keep him company and talk to him. He said that made it was less about being bored and annoyed by doing chores and more happy hanging out and bonding time with his kids. It was always fun too. He genuinely did like spending time with us and joking around. We were never super close because he was pretty strict, but I always liked that quality time with him. I try to get my kids to help. My youngest daughter loves when the tools come out. Her big sister is a decent painter. I try to get them to help cook too. Stuff takes longer to get done, but hopefully they absorb some of the stuff we are doing. It's a pretty convoluted story, but I was dating a guy, had to drive his car to get him from a situation, and wrecked his car due to mechanical failure, and called my mama to come get me so we could go get him. Rescued him. Then had to tell him I'd wrecked his car. His first question, "Are you okay?" My mom overheard. That one's a keeper. I've told this story before, but a week or two into dating my boyfriend, I was driving to work, and one of the wheels fell off my car on the highway. I pulled over to the side of the road, and called my boss and a tow truck, and then texted my new beau just for comfort. He asked where on the highway I was, and said he'd be right there, without hesitating. When he showed up, and ran across the busy highway, and scooped me up into a hug, I felt so loved, and safe and thought, oh shiz, this could be the one. And what now? It's been 4 years and we are very in love. Able to forgive mistakes. Early in our relationship I accidentally backed my car into my fiance's car while coming out of the driveway. I definitely did damage. I immediately started freaking out and crying, and he just calmly got out of his car, came up to mine, and asked if I was okay. He got me to calm down and said it was fine, it was just an accident. He never made me feel bad about it. He called it a little bump to my friends to minimize my embarrassment. We laugh about it to this day. Side note, his dad who works with cars fixed his car for him at no cost. Edit. No, he did not have any way of knowing his dad would/could fix the car. His father is not a mechanic. His father knows a mechanic. His father didn't bring up fixing the car until several months later. Came home from working a 12-hour shift one night to a full dinner with my favorite dessert. Never had a girlfriend just decide to cook me a full meal for me to come home to like that. Genuine support in your life goals, even if that means you two will have to go long distance for a while, or will have to have conflicting work schedule, or it will make your relationship harder in some way. If they love you and want you to be happy, they will be genuinely interested in what you want to do and will try to support you to do that in whatever way they can. They won't hold you back in any way. This is something me and my significant other have been facing something similar to this recently. He's just graduated and is looking for a job. As much as I want him to stay close by, so we don't have to do long distance for any more time than we have to, I'm going home for the summer. But if he gets a job the other side of the country, I won't stop him, and as long as I'm around I'll help him pack up. Being able to have healthy conflict without fear that conflict will cause the end of the relationship. It's green flag and a relief to have natural disagreements and communication about those disagreements without constant fear that someone's going to hit the nuclear option. Edit. Also, doctoring my coffee and bringing it to me in bed was a smaller green flag. Edit 2. Doctoring meaning putting cream and sugar in, and thank you for the awards and gold Reddit friends. Underrated comment. Also, no matter how pissed off you are at each other, you're still supporting, respectful, and considerate of one another. Edit. For clarification, E/O equals each other. And thanks for the gold, fellow Redditor. Non-sexual compliments. Not really sure if this counts because we're not in a relationship, but last full semester, my friend asked if I could help her with something. I hadn't seen her in a while, and while I was talking to her she said, "You got new glasses?" I said yes. They really suit you. It honestly made my day. Compliments really go a long way. Friendships are relationships too. I feel like there's a lot of detailed examples that largely boil down to two things: empathy and emotional maturity. It's sad that those two are so often lacking that people become surprised by it. Yeah, I wonder how rare it is to actually find these two very important attributes. From my experience, the more damaged you are, the less you recognize them. It depends. In my case, I'm much more emotionally mature and empathetic because I'm damaged. But here's the big difference. I was damaged and now I'm mentally healthy and happy. But going through depression, heroin addiction, and suicidal ideation made me a better person in the long run. It allowed me to grow and learn how to be emotionally stable. Many people teeter on that edge of just getting by, so they never actually improve. But I was so far gone that I was forced to either die or improve. So I improved. When your significant other takes criticism from you seriously without immediately trying to turn it back on you. If the converse is also true, you two stand a great chance of going the distance. I think it's important to realize that this is where you can be out the gate, or it's somewhere you can get to. My wife reacts very poorly to criticism, not because she can't stand to have flaws in her behavior pointed out, but because she feels that when I criticize her actions, I'm telling her that she's garbage, and in a day or two I'll be telling her to move out. That's a direct effect of her upbringing, and what's important is that she recognizes the issue for what it is, and we talk about it. It's made us so much better. This is amazing advice for any of the green flags in this thread. People come with their own experiences, but they aren't set in stone. Honest communication and working together on challenges is huge. I think lack of a certain green flag doesn't mean a red flag. This one's definitely a green flag, but the red flag version might be anything that could be perceived as a criticism results in a fight. It's one thing to not take criticism well. It's another to become enraged by it. Your partner does things for you without asking and remembers little details. For example, I like eating with a fruit fork, the smaller version of the dinner fork. I actually googled that since our family calls them the little forks lol. Anyway, my partner remembers this and will grab it for me when we're dishing up food. Another good one is they make you feel appreciated. Edit. It may be a cake fork or salad fork. Oh my god, same here. My fiance always grabs me the little forks, or as I like to call them, normal forks. She prefers the monster forks. Regardless, it's such a simple, nothing gesture that shows she's listening and she cares. Marrying that wonderful person this Saturday. Edit, been working all day and just checked in. Thank you all for the well wishes. We are super excited. Not the wedding we had envisioned when we got engaged, but it's going to be perfect. Congrats. Sounds like you two are made for each other, but it's not. Like you need a random 16-year-old telling you that lol. Damn, imagine getting this much karma on a burner account. Honesty. Genuine interest in each other's hobbies. Don't have to do them, but at least support it. Strong communication. You feel like you're hanging out with your best friend, except you wanna smash. Bold of you to assume I don't wanna smash my best friend. Smashing the homies ain't gay if you are wearing socks. Being able to emotionally connect even after an argument. Absolutely. During the beginning of our relationship, whenever my partner and I would argue, he would try to hold my hand, rub my arm, or hug me as we talked. When I'm wound up, I feel like I need space to think, like physical space, so I would always push him away. We'd always get to a point in our arguments where he would just shut down or walk out of the apartment, and I couldn't figure out why. I thought that he just didn't care enough to talk these things out with me. Finally I learned that physical touch is a big part of his love language, and that was what he needed during/after our fights, to feel emotionally connected with me. Since then, when one of us gets upset, we hold hands and talk things out. It's a weird small thing that's made a huge difference in our relationship. It's so touching, so to speak, that you were able to figure it out, to get onto the same page with each other. Wishing you continued happiness. Or during. I have friends that love having intellectual battles between themselves. It's how they connect to each other and express their love. I can relate to this. I enjoy having intellectual arguments. Would you say you love being mentally challenged? They trust you to stay at their apartment alone. Yeah. I thought I was the only one. The first time my partner said I could stay at his place in the morning to sleep in, when he ran errands, made me feel so good. When they do this, you gotta promptly steal everything they own. The real life pro tip is always in the comments. They already did. They stole the heart. That's why they're together. Laughter. And also, I've been with my partner for 40 years this month, and I still smile when I see him across a room. He still makes me laugh, and my heart soars when I think of him. Awesome. And congratulations to you both. Been with my wife almost 10 years now, and she always tells me how she loves that I make her laugh at least once every day. I hope she still says the same thing 30 years from now. Laughing is probably the best thing you can do in the world and my favorite thing. One of my HS teachers told me, if you can't find something to laugh about each day, what's the point of waking up? And that always stuck with me. You don't feel like they are playing games. Communication is direct, and you don't feel too nervous about what you should or shouldn't do or say, and you're not worried about what they do or don't do or say. Some butterflies is normal, of course. Edit. To clarify, my point here is it's possible to meet someone who, right from the beginning, you're not overly concerned about your interactions. You don't have to think too much about what to text them or when. Same with calls. They don't leave you wondering about when they will respond to you and what delaying means. They don't say or do cryptic things that you have to go home and call in a panel of friends to analyze. This is not to say that, in the beginning, you shouldn't take care to be on your best behavior and not to overshare. This is not game playing, it's being considerate. Cheesy but true. Communication in a relationship is like cell phone service. Lose it and you start playing games or searching for a better service provider. You want your partner to be happy and not the other way around. Oftentimes people want to be in a relationship to solely make themselves happy. Edit. My point is different from making your partner happy and completely forgetting your own happiness. I heard somewhere that in a relationship it shouldn't be to make yourself happy, it should be to have someone that you can share that happiness with. This is a good one, but it has to go both ways. If A has the goal of B being happy and B has the goal of B being happy, then A feels like shiz because nobody is caring for them. Yup, I can vouch for A here. I thought it was a righteous goal for me to want to make B happy, and I was thinking that if B had the goal to make me happy, then we'd both be totally taken care of, and it would be a beautiful relationship. And then I learned about codependency, and that this is a perfect example of it. Codependency equals bad. Codependency is when your boundaries are all screwed up, and you don't realize that each person should be in charge of his or her own happiness. Then you add the other person to the mix, and you share your happiness with each other. You're not supposed to provide the other person's happiness, and you're definitely not supposed to feel guilty if the other person is having problems with their own state of mind. Potato 2. Clearly you already know this stuff. I'm just sharing for anyone who doesn't. Edit. I have a bad habit of saying codependence, but the noun form is actually codependency. I figured I should correct that. Also, thanks for the silver. It's my first award. If she shows equal interest in hanging out with you, if it feels like you're dragging them into going on a date, they're really not into you, no matter what they may say. Besides, let's be honest. Wouldn't you rather date someone who is as excited and interested in seeing you and you are in seeing them? Exactly this. I've instantly lost attraction to a few girls because they were just so fake in terms of interest. People can act all they want, but their interest in hanging out is a clear way to tell if they really care. The flip side to it is that you want someone who is paying attention to your interests, and you have to pay attention to theirs as well. You don't want to constantly invite the person you're dating to bars and clubs if that's not their thing. Some people are more introverted / casual, and some people are more about going on wild adventures. When you like the person that you become when you're with them, everyone projects a different version of themselves around different people, and if you don't like who you become when you're with someone, it's probably not going to be the healthiest relationship. Your so should bring out the best in you. While we were dating, my now wife would always put on a fake diamond ring whenever she would go out with her girlfriends. When I noticed it once and asked her about it, she said she would do it because it would discourage most, certainly not all, guys from hitting on her. It showed the type of person she was, and was such a simple and easy gesture that no one I ever dated before had ever done. I obviously had to replace that fake one with a real one. I did this as a waitress in a past relationship to discourage the creepy older men. Boyfriend saw the set in my car console and threw it out on the highway. Should have taken it as a sign then and not when he blindsided me with a breakup 6 months later. Thanks for watching. I humbly ask you to subscribe. I'm a small channel and your sub would mean so much more to me than anyone else. Make a change in the world, friend. I'm not saying I'm the best channel. All I'm saying is take a risk. See you in the next video, smiley face.